Art is creating. Art is expressing your vision.
Creation. That's as simple as it gets. Art is the form of creation. And whatever you do to create in life, that is your art form. That is what art is meant to be.
I think everything in and about life has to do with art. And art is the expression of an idea, whether it's acting, drawing, writing, singing, telling a story. I mean, it's all telling a story.
But you also need art to help broaden your horizons, broaden your mind. And it leads to imagination. Imagination's key. You don't want what I think we have as a society of sheep, zombies, following a code blindly. And if there's anything I'd like to see, is an appreciation of the artist.
Ever since I can remember, I've always thought of life as like a big movie. Everything like a fairy tale, where I could make anything happen at any time. And I kind of had judgment like that based off of what I saw other people do. I always felt like I could do whatever I wanted at any time. And it kind of reflected my lifestyle as well. I mean, I moved a lot throughout my life. I've traveled a lot. But I see that as just a great story to tell people, different experiences. And it's been big, like I said, my whole life. My mom used to draw a lot. I used to think she was an incredible artist. And because of that and family problems that happened, drawing was my escape from reality.
As I've grown, all my life I've had an interest in art. Always did art in some way, shape, or form. Either drawing, painting, music, or writing. And now taking on video making. Just see it as a way to express oneself. And art can be almost anything there.
Drawing for me was a getaway. Sometimes I'd get angry or sad, and writing would be the way I went. But just getting those ideas on paper really helped me forget about any thoughts that made me sad or angry or upset or whatever, and I forget about it.
Art to me is pretty much, it's my life. It's what I do on a day-to-day basis. It's crazy how art came to me. It was, my last semester of college. Graduated with a business degree. And I came home for the winter break. And I went and hung out with my older brother Moses. And we went to one of his friend's house. And the guy's roommate was, the second we walk in, I see him on a ladder and he's painting murals up on the wall. It inspired me because the second I went home to New Mexico, I was sitting in my living room. And I was just sitting there with my roommate and we're looking up at the wall, smoking, getting hella high. I'm like, man, those walls are way too damn white. Let's go get some paint. So we go down to the store, just hella random, grab some paint, and I paint a Bob Marley mural and a Santana mural. And it was crazy because I gridded it all out, and then I drew it up there. And what I would do is I got the piece of, I had a picture of Santana, and I gridded it out on the paper, and then I gridded it with tape on the wall. And then all I did was copy the small pieces of the grid and put them all together. That was my process there in the beginning. And it took hella long, but it ended up looking good, and after that I was hooked. And I can honestly say every day since then I've done some type of artwork, Whether it's I'm planning in my mind to do a piece, whether I'm actually painting, whether I'm tattooing, whether I'm drawing, whether I'm writing, all of that is art.
When I was a young kid, my family suffered a tragedy. We lost an uncle, and my aunts and uncles lost a brother. My uncle was an artist, and I think that planted a seed in a lot of the lives of the cousins, the younger generation, when that had happened.
The more and more I look at how my uncle lived his life, the more and more I learn like how similar I am to him. And this was an uncle I never really got to meet in life. He died when I was 8 years old. And
he was kind of like the Tupac of the family, where, you know, when a rapper passes on, dies tragically, you immortalize him through his work. And my uncle, I wanted to know everything about the artist. You wanted to see his work, you wanted to learn his techniques. And when I contrast that to what's going on today, I think there's something lacking in our culture and society where we focus a lot on these, you know, sports stars, musicians, actors, which is good. You want to appreciate the art they bring to the world, but I think there's something lacking when you know all their names, but yet we don't know the names of artists today. You don't see the major artists, you don't see their works. And it says something when in our schools you see art departments, programs disappearing for lack of funding. But you still have all your other classes. You have sports, you have history, you have math, which are classes you need. But I think art should be should be part of that group where you do not cut that. Just like they would never think to cut history, you don't think to cut art because art's essential.
what you're effectively doing is taking away people's ability to create. They're not learning how to create anymore with their lives. We're just all learning how to be one simple cog in a machine.
Art as in painters, graphic designers, doodlers, drawers, what have you. It's essential to their careers. So all these people that people seem to, you know, thrive on following and want to know every move they make, look at that aspect of their lives. Art's important, we need it, and we should strive our society harder to embrace the artists of the world.
I have a better relationship with my uncle in death than I ever had with him in life, and art brought that. So art really makes your life, your story, immortal, because it affects those long after you're gone.
I think art, it's not, I mean, you have to focus on one thing, but art is everything. And what I mean by focus on one thing is that's the only way to be a master at a craft. That is your artwork, whether you're a mechanic, a writer, a singer, a painter, it doesn't matter. Garbage man. It's all an art form that you have to master.
It connects the dots in my life because I pay attention to detail more and more. With each painting I do, with each drawing that I do, I pay attention to a little more detail. I refine a little more technique. And that translates into every aspect of my life. Because now in life, every little aspect, every little detail, I pay attention to. And when you pay attention to all those little details, you start to see how they stack up and how they really influence everything that you do in your life. It's the little details. And I feel like we're in a culture where they take that away from us by not really helping us to look for those details. Instead, they want to distract us. They want us to think about, you know, all this bullshit of, you know, consume this, buy this. That's what an advertisement really is, saying, you're not happy, you should buy this. This will make you happy. And in all that, we've gotten lost and forgot that pay attention to the little details, appreciate what you do have in your life. And that's what art has really brought to me, and that's the real power that drives me with it, is that it gives me that clarity, it gives me that perspective on my own life, and with that perspective, you know, the possibilities are endless.
I think every young generation needs it, and I think the older generation should strive to be more interested in the art world. Because let me tell you, all those sports stars, celebrities, actors, musicians, they appreciate art. And all their work, you can see their inspiration stemming from art. Because imagination is important. I think if you don't have imagination, what the hell are we doing?